microphone is not being seen by OBS as the default input device. So every time I stream now, it's becoming a problem, like a real problem. Thank you for that host, Fatal Knife. But yeah, it's becoming a real problem because then I'll start talking, and like I just did, 15 minutes or whatever of streaming, and no audio. So, thanks for sticking around, guys. NerdyX, thank you for that host. Alright, so what I said before that probably wasn't heard at all is mittens. I'm starting mittens. I have a commission from my cousin. I have some wool blend yarn here that I'm working on. I'm probably going to go 44 in my starting chain, according to the pattern, which I already read out, but you didn't hear. So I really need to work on that. So I'm going to count my stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Okay, so this is 36 that I'm doing. I'm going to go up to 44. 30. Oh, great. Trucker J 2016 and Bejoua Lin, thank you also for those hosts. Alright, so now it's 35 because I took one out. 36, 37. Anonymous Group 11, thank you for the host. 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. And the reason I'm going to 44 is this says that the pattern for 36 is for children's mittens, and this is for not a child. Or my cousin. Alright, so slip stitch. Okay. So we got that started, and now I'm just slip stitch in the back loops, which doesn't really work. You don't do back loops on your first chain because there's only one set of loops. When crocheting the first row, an alternative is to crochet into the small bump behind the chain, the camel hump, for a plated look. Chains are so hard to see in the beginning. Not going to be... I just need to find it. Anyway, so slip stitching all the way around. 1. And I wrestled a tank once. Thank you for the host. Alright, I need to get this a little more on my hands here. So we've got 1, 2. This is gonna take so long. 3. I don't usually do slip stitches as a base stitch for anything, so this is a little bit of a new experience for... And this yarn is actually pretty thin. 5, which kind of has me a little bit worried about the final product. But right now I'm just worried about... I usually start with a magic circle, not with a wide circle. So all my stitches are attached, not kind of floating, dangling. Alright, 6 and around 7. And 8 in here. I'm counting now because I want to make sure I have the right number of stitches. Because it will make a difference when I get to the pattern. 10. I can fudge it here if I need to. 11. When I get to the pattern, it has to be a multiple of 2. 12. And I prefer it to be 44. 13. Oh, this is so small. 14. 15. 16. Maybe I should find thicker yarn. 17. 18. 19. And be careful I'm not twisting it also, because this is going to go around your wrist. This is the wrist part of the mitten. This is 20. 21. 22. And 23. Now it's getting a little tighter. I think I made some of my chains a little too tight. 23. 24. Trying not to twist it, but it's like the chains twist on their own. It's really, really frustrating. I'm already feeling tension building in my shoulders. I hate the beginning of a project. It's so nitpicky and just like I feel like I'm gonna go cross-eyed. I should probably pull out. I have some like crafting magnifying glasses. There we go. So let's see if I have those around. I may have left them upstairs. Oh, here we go. Here's a pair. I have like 2 or 3 pairs of these glasses. Fit them to the headphones. Alright. Oh, and they're crooked with the headphones. Okay. I obviously don't wear glasses. Alright. I think it was like 25. Great. I will have to count again when I get to the end. I'm looking for stitch markers now. When I get to the end, I'm going to have to fully stop, full stop, and go ahead and count, count, count. It's going to be one of those projects where I'm going to be counting every row, also obnoxious. Yeah, I think most knitters and crocheters like doing the craft and just like kind of zoning out and going along. But stuff like, stopping to count the stitches or starting the project can be really daunting. I do want to make these a good quality though. My cousin is doing her doctoral residency in St. Louis, and it's cold out there, so I want to make sure that what I make is warm. And the reason I wanted a wool blend of yarn is to make sure that they can, absorb whatever moisture. I mean, it's hard, almost impossible to crochet or knit a waterproof thing because you're using hooks and needles. Like there's going to be little pinpoints of um, space, just in the nature of the craft itself. Okay, almost to the end there. Well, we'll use a stitch marker to mark our place, and then go ahead and count and make sure I counted right the first time. I don't really have faith that I did, since chain rows, that first starting chain, it's always difficult to count. I may have to add or subtract some stitches at that point, but it's easier to do it then than much later on. Oh, the slip stitches. It'll probably look cool, it'll probably look just fine, and it'll probably feel good, but slip stitches and an actual stitch isn't an actual stitch, and this is obnoxious. And the yarn is tiny. The yarn is super thin. I didn't think it was really that thin, but it's pretty tiny stuff. Alright, this will be our last one, and then I'll slip stitch it. Well, actually, no, I won't do that slip stitch. I will stick the stitch marker here. We'll go ahead and count. And counting slip stitches, it's also an interesting concept. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So 42, it can't be divisible by 4, it has to be divisible by 2, or it can't be divisible by 2, it has to be divisible by 4. So I'm right in the middle there. I need to add 2 more stitches. I think I'll go back a little and kind of do a... Okay, so if I do 2 more in each of those that I just pulled out. We're doing slip stitches here. So we'll do 2 in here. Here's one. And put it through the same one. And there's 2 in one stitch, and then I can move over to the next one. There's one here. And put this through the same one. Alright. And that's 2. Now I should have 44. Why does this look so weird though? It looks kind of disconnected and I'm not sure why. I know it'll be a little offset, but hopefully offset does not mean like a weak link there. The tail is a bit big. The tail is long. That's fine. That'll get tucked in. So we can cut that off a bit. And then we can weave it in. Now that we've got that first row done. That looks like my tail thing was still a little wonky. Okay, weaving in the ends, weaving in the ends. Something I always hate to do. This is one of those other, I don't mind weaving in ends as much as I mind frustrating stitches, because weaving in the ends, you do it and you're done. The frustrating stitches, you may have to do the stitch over and over and over again. Like this slip stitch. Like I said, I can feel the tension in my back. I can actually feel it again now thinking about doing the next row of slip stitches. I need to do 5 rows of slip stitches. Let's see. What was that message I just got? Oh, okay. For another crochet event. Yay, crochet events. Sorry, my nose is super itchy. I think some of this yarn actually got in my face. Alright, so this is supposed to be where my hand goes through. So it does need to be a little bit loose, a bit stretchy. Make sure that it can stay on. It's not quite as snug as I hoped it would be, but the thing is, it also does it does stretch going over my thumb. So that should be a decent width there. Okay, so oh my gosh, the whole thing is slip stitches. Oof. Oh my goodness. My freaking phone is blowing up. Alright, the message for crochet thing. And emails I don't need to know about. Not yet. Alright. So that's row 2 of slip stitches done. I need 3 more and then I change colors. No, I don't change colors, I add a color. Actually, I should probably leave the stitch marker in there so I can just keep on going. Alright. There we go. Oops, stay. Alright, I just have to make sure I'm not twisting this. Twisted Mitten would be so... Although Twisted Mitten sounds like it'd be a cool kids band. I mean, it's not as cool as Raffi, but... Or was it, there's that Swedish dinosaur band? That seems cool. Okay, so am I still... Yes, I'm still crocheting into the back loops. So it's going to be slightly even tighter than before. That's all slip stitch. The whole thing's a slip stitch. Maybe well, I don't think I knew my dislike for slip stitch until I started this. But I will say it makes for a tighter stitch. Not There's not as much space between each each row of yarn that we're making here. So it is a good choice for mittens to keep you warm. Like I said, I was planning on doing like lined with fleece or something. As I'm working on this, it might not be possible, but it would be really uncomfortable, I think, if it wasn't. But we'll see. Since I'm going to be switching out yarn colors, I can imagine that inside there will be loops that are attached, and like I hate it when I'm wearing mittens or gloves or whatever, and there's a loose string in there, and like it gets between your fingers. And, oh god, one of the worst feelings. Ugh, I hate that feeling. Same thing with like if you have a sock where there's a hole in the sock and your toe slips through it. Mm-mm. Like that sock is either coming off, or I'm ripping that hole bigger, or I'm going to be taking a needle and I'm going to be sewing it up so my toe is not sticking out. But just that feeling of something in between. Back loops, back loops, back loops. Am I doing front loops? Shoot. I think I did a few back loops and started doing front loops. Oh, front loops, no. Go backwards. I gotta be careful because the slip stitch is a hard one to read. Like reading when I'm looking at it. Okay, so this one was correct. And this one was not correct. Oh goodness. Alright, I think this is now correct. Back loops, back loops. So the other project I'm working on, the other one that's already started, I'm in a good rhythm for, is a baby blanket. The CG pattern from, it's not CG is like the two letters, it's SEIJI. It's from the Happy Hooker book. That was the other one I said I was getting confused with, prepping for the stream. I was going to do that one. It's a bit boring. So, um, this one's much more interesting of a pattern. Plus, I want to get these I want to make them and get them to my cousin. Um, should probably get her email from her so I can work on that. Yeah, some of these did twist a little already. I'm gonna have to count these at the end again also. Oh, see, that looks weird. Why? What is that? Ah, because I went in. That's why it's not twisted. It's just a slightly larger stitch. Anyway, I need to get her email so we can get the transaction taken care of. But at this rate, it's going to take me like 2 days, if not longer, to do these. I do want to get these done. This should be my priority, not the charity blanket. Charity blanket kind of has an open-ended finish date. I'm working on a thing with a friend called Weed and Knit Nights, and they are we're meeting up 5 times. We already had our first meetup, and making items that can be Whedon themed, but it's really the Whedon con, basically entire Whedon fandom for Buffy fans or Firefly Serenity fans, all of that, to get together and help donate to a charity called Newborns in Need. So we're making baby items, whether it's, you know, towels or swaddle. I'm kind of making like a swaddling blanket size. I need to actually look up the dimensions of the swaddling blanket. I hope I'm not making it too big, because I'm already kind of far in it. I should really look up those dimensions. Dang it. But either way, it could be a good small lap blanket for a parent or whatever. Um, I feel like I'm twisting this. Let's pull this off for a second here. So this is the cuff, and it's back loops. I'll make sure I'm still all in the correct staying in the same plane is getting a little confusing because you started off with the chain stitch and then the slip stitch is kind of puckering both sides, so it's making sort of a triangle feeling thing, which would be good to keep in mind if I ever want to do something that sort of has the three-dimensional triangle effect. I can actually see how this would be a useful stitch, combination of stitches, rows, etc. Nope, can't loop it. Nope, this is all slip stitch. So I have the baby blanket. I have these mittens. Tomorrow, actually, I will be working on writing a pattern for a pouch. I've started the pattern. It's a lot of prose at the moment. Prose, Prose, like written out, just explanation, because the first part of the pattern is not necessarily crochet. I think I need to include pictures for this time around. For a group that's meeting up, we're looking at making a book of crochet patterns. So, I don't think I'll do that on stream since we are going to be selling the book. I know some people are giving them their patterns away for free on Ravelry. I haven't decided if I'm going to do mine as a free pattern or a paid one. If I did paid, it'd be like 99 cents. It's not exactly an amazing pattern. I don't think it's all that original, but my design group thinks it is. I have one element that's different than a bunch of other things and kind of adds a new twist. Alright, so I'm coming to the end here. I've got a few more of these little stitches, and I'm going to have to stop and count again. Because, like I said, they're tiny. This is hard to see. One of the things I wanted to do when I first started learning to crochet was to crochet lace. I thought that would be like, that was my pie in the sky goal, the epitome of learning how to crochet. And then it's like, then I can stop. Once I learn how to do that. But I'm actually using this skill set to make a lot of gifts for people. That's my nieces love the little animals I've made for them. But amigurumi, also frustrating. Making a straight up scarf, pretty chill. But really, how many scarves can a person, need? If I start weaving, that would be a different story. That you can make tons of scarves and stuff like that, and they'd be thinner too. They wouldn't be nice airy scarves. My nieces would love little girly things. I was never like a girly girl. Oh my god, if someone gave me a scarf when I was younger, I'd be like, what do I do with this? It's not even warm. A thin, like, airy, silky scarf type thing. I'd be like, what? Why? And I was kind of a brat too. I'd be like, what am I gonna do with this? It's not really gonna keep me warm in winter. Yeah, I did not have a filter. Now I think I have too much of a filter. Oh, so the Weed and Knit Night things I was talking about is for WeednCon. So up here we go, WeednCon. May 19th through the 21st. It's just all Whedon themed stuff. So I'm gonna leave it here for a few seconds in case you're interested, and you can see the list of guests down there. If that's something you're interested in, if you're in the LA area, or if this is the kind of thing you'd actually want to come out and experience. So it does cost. There is a charge. Oh, there you go. Entire weekend, $50. So it's a 3-day event. Yeah, 19, 20, 21. So 3 days for $50. And I think it's at. Oh, excuse me. Actually, I should tell her she needs to update this. It's like, where is it at? Just says Los Angeles. Well, you can go to WhedonCon.com and find out. I believe it's at one of the hotels downtown. So, there you go. WhedonCon, doing the Knit Night charity events. And those can also be found at WhedonCon.com. Each event has its own Facebook invite. So, I was going to count my stitches, wasn't I? And I had a bluish teal stitch marker. That's still in the bag. Okay. Wait, did I start in the same place? I feel like I started one spot. Did I? Oh no, if I did that and I twisted it. I got a crazy little Mobius going on. Do I? No? I'm still counting only 42 though. Alright. I'll have to go back and add two more. Well, one more because I just haven't finished that last one. Go back to here. And we'll put two in this one. You know, I'm gonna get to like the first part where I have to make the first thing. I'll be like, why do I have 48 stitches? I really should only have 44. Because I keep adding them so I can figure out what the heck is going on. Alright. And then in here. Except you don't want to go into that stitch. Why not? Go, go, go. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna take this guy off so I can finish it up. Alright, that should be 44 there. Alright, so that's row 3. Row 3, row 3, row 3. I'm doing this for about an hour now. I have 3 rows done. Alright. Okay. So, put this back on here. So I can kind of go on autopilot and not freak out when I miss up counting. Alright, more slip stitchery. Slip stitch, slip stitch. I also keep getting messages from the OBS that there's high CPU usage, high encoding CPU usage. Why? I don't really have it turned on that high. But I think I also do some backup stuff. Like I have it save a video locally, so it's encoding on the fly, which I don't know if a lot of other streamers do that. I have absolutely no idea. Coming from an archives background, yes, the locks principle, lots of also upload to YouTube, which is why I don't play a lot of music or any music. I could go with the free stuff from Twitch, which I might actually look into going ahead and turning that on. It's sort of driving me a little nuts. It's so quiet right now. But even the free Twitch stuff, it's free to stream, but not free to replay. So when I put my videos up on YouTube, it mutes them, or I get a copyright notice. And basically, well, the copyright notice thing isn't so bad. They're like, by the way, because you're using our music, we're gonna play ads in front of your video. Okay, that's a compromise I can deal with. I am okay with that. I'm getting something, you're getting something. You're not putting ads in front of mine. Roanoke and Dravos. Thank you guys for that host. But yeah, I'm getting something, they're getting something. They're not just putting ads up in front of my video for no reason. Yes. Granted, I don't think my videos are going to generate all that much revenue for some of those people. Sorry, guys. Maybe if I did some tutorial stuff, but there's already crochet tutorials online on YouTube, which is how I learned to do a lot of stuff. I don't know how to do the stitch. I don't remember how to do it. Okay, let's go to YouTube. Someone else has had to post it. So, Zeranax, thank you for the host, and Draomes, again, thank you very much for those hosts. I'd also like to give a shout out to the Fajar Network, FJARR. They do auto hosting before Twitch had their auto host, so I'd like to just throw a shout out there. Oh, who do we have? 9115 and Erskilla. Thank you guys also for those hosts. Much appreciated. Unfortunately, today is only going to be a short 3-hour stream. I have a lunch meeting that hopefully turns into an interview, that hopefully turns into a job. That's sort of how it works in LA, which is freaking weird. I'm not used to that kind of job hunting. It's like going out to lunch, going out for a drink, going out. There's a lot of extra money to try and get hired. Last night I met up with an archives group, since I'm hoping someday to be an archivist. That's what I went out and got my master's for, library science and archives. Alright, what we got? Narianas, Presty1, Official Gino, and Little Beefy. Thank all you guys for that host. Karu Ann, thank you also for a host. I have to remember, my hands want to do a single crochet so badly. I just have to remember that we're doing slip stitch, not single crochet. Batzar0, thank you for the host also. So many hosts all over. All the hosting love. Thank you, everybody. Okay, coming to the end of this row. So this is row 4. After the next row, I start my color changing. Alright. This is where it gets twisted. It's right at the join. Big Man 242400, thank you for the host. And for anyone who may have joined, welcome to my channel. I do crocheting. I also do variety gaming. Today I'm working on mittens. First time I've ever tried mittens, so it's an experience for all of us, honestly. instructions, it basically says to do the single crochet in the back loops to prevent curling, but I am getting curling like you wouldn't believe. Like I was saying before, I get this triangle 3D effect, which I'm wondering, did I twist it at some point? Because actually over here I can't really separate. Oh no, it's just that curled. Just that curled. Yeah, it's actually kind of going into almost a tube-like mode. I am doing back loop crochet, or crocheting in the back loop as it says, but the twist is just insane. It's not really a twist, it's more like the pull, the way that the stitches pull each other. So I'm doing back loop slip stitch. It looks cool. Like, I don't know if you guys, let's see if we can try and see this here. I can't see it. So we got this Ghost, thank you for the host. I didn't realize how tiny my little gifts were. And I'm Cloud, thank you for the host. So here, yeah, you can kind of see how it interlocks like that. So it's got that kind of cool looking zigzaggy pattern, almost like a Jacob's ladder kind of feel. You can sort of, there we go, sort of see how like different rungs in it. That is the slip stitch going on there. That's not what I'm used to seeing since it's my first time doing a whole pattern in slip stitch. So, and who else? We had Ghost, and oh my gosh, I missed some people. Cinnamon Boo, thank you for the host. It's good to see you. I missed that one. Vault Boy Frosty, Nanoton 86, so many. Marquis de Lafayette, Dracovisky 12, The Convicted, thank you guys all for the hosts. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We gotta remember the magic numbers 44. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Uncurl, please. 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. I feel like I need more light. Is that crazy? It's a little orangey. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44! Yes! Magic 44. Alright. Michael Lynam, Darth Cheeses, Og Rise, Not So Super Fraz, Son of a Beach, and Braxy TV. Thank you guys for those hosts. Alright. Now, so that was number 4. So I'm going to stick this orange one in here so I can see a little better. And one more time, that should be the end of the cuff, which I'm finding strange because you see the cuff on the picture here. It's a much bigger cuff than what I have. Like, that's, but she said she's also using thick yarn. We am evil also, thank you for the host. But yeah, so the cuff, wait, was I supposed to do something different? Because her stuff looks different. Let me reread this. It's worth making a short cuff by crocheting into the back loop because that keeps the cuff straight and it won't curl up. See, but I'm getting problems because I'm doing that. I'm super confused on that one. Join them with a slip stitch. Crochet 5 rows of slip stitches into the back loop. stuff, but the actual pattern here looks like it's different. Um, oh my gosh, Mini Burger, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you for that, host. 26 viewers. So, for it's not just a host, I have a mini raid. Hello, everybody. Minnie, Catsup, Tazi, Kadisher, Elfie, Lil Bells, Perfectly Wicked. Thank you guys. So Salty Sketches. I'm working on my first set of crocheted mittens today, and I'm also um, behooving the fact that it's all slip stitch, which I've never done before. I don't even have a raid defense. I need to come up with something. And Rowan Embers came in the middle of all of that too with a host. Thank you. So hi guys, what are you all up to? Other than awesome raids. And Elfie, thank you for the follow. Melissa, welcome, welcome all. BNS Boo, thank you. So yeah, I'm just slip stitch slip stitch mittens, which are not. It's all a brand new thing for me. So that's what we got going on today. Hi, hi. All right, thank you for letting me know about the volume. Yeah. My mic volume has always been kind of wonky. Um, is this better, Labelle? Salty, thank you very much for the follow. You can't hear me at all. Oh, that is not cool. Yeah, according to my max. Oh, is this better, guys? Not really. Oh. Oh, okay, much better. Good, good, good. That's right, I do have to wait a few seconds. Um, Cat, excellent. I don't even know how I said it before. Oh no. Oh, I thought that was an I. KRL. I thought the L was an I. So, hi, everybody. This is fantastic. Uh, Now I know I've seen a lot of you guys in Minnie's channels before. Who else is a crafter? Ooh, hey, perfectly. I know I've totally seen you around before and chatted with you. Rainbow Butts. Yeah, this is sort of like a green teal and then the purple. So yeah, that'll be the second color when I get to it. When I get to it. I think according to the pattern though, like this should be my last row of the cuff, but it looks so small and curled up. Like it's so tiny. And that should be the cuff, and then I'm supposed to start with the purple and teal. Um, so I'm just hoping that it turns out well, otherwise I'll start all over and make this flatter. but the pattern, and I'm wondering because the pattern was translated from like a Scandinavian language, maybe it's missing something. Like you should do this because it'll make it flatter instead of you should not do this. Like that one word makes a difference. Oops. All right. So yeah, the teal and purple. My cousin did say that. So she asked for a pair of mittens, and she's like, "I'd rather pay you than like go to a store." I'm like, "Okay, I hope you don't need them like immediately, cause I'm not fast." But she said no hurry on them. But she's like, like blue or purple or whatever you think looks pretty. So I jumped in my stash, and I found colors that matched what she was asking for, but also that had a wool blend so that, she's out in St. Louis, Missouri, which also is cold and gets snow and wet and whatever, so something that would actually do well in that sort of environment. And this is what I had, teal and purple. And this purple is so soft. Like, I haven't used my only, it's a Hirschner wool blend yarn. I think Hirschner's is awesome. I love their website. Um, but this is the only skein of it I have. And when I was like looking at the pattern, I'm like, oh, is this gonna be enough? It's like twice as much that I need. But auto host, Scarlet Witch X. Thank you for that X3. Thanks for the auto host. So what are you guys working on now? Like, I know Wicked, you're always doing something. And yeah, Elfie, I went AWOL for a few months too. Like when I was working, I just did not have the time to stream. Um, the last couple jobs I've had have been in the movie and entertainment industry. So when you work those jobs, they kind of want your entire life, which I really don't agree with. Uh, but gotta pay bills. So yeah, they just assume you work for us. You need to come in whenever we tell you to, and it's like, not really. I agreed to work X number of hours a week, and I put in those hours, and you can leave me alone. But for about 5 years, I was at a studio's beck and call, which I didn't mind at the time, but now that I look back at it, it was sort of like a Stockholm syndrome type thing. I couldn't exist out here without their paycheck, so I needed to do it. And I do need to learn to knit too. That's my 2017 goal. I did ask Minnie if she'd. I need to like schedule a time with her. Maybe we can like do a dual stream thing where she can see what I'm doing. But I have a sweater idea that I'd really like to do. But of course it's knit, not crochet. Uh, oh my goodness, you got like one of those birthday months. Um, yeah, I found that most of the stuff I make I give away. Like it's not like, hey, I crochet for profit and I make stuff off of it. It's like I crochet so I don't have to go buy a gift. All the gifts for my nieces since pretty much since they've been born have been like crocheted little stuffed animals for me. Have I gotten them anything that wasn't crocheted? That's a good question. I think I've gotten them a book. I did get them a book for Christmas also. Oh, fun. Yeah, crafting with other people is always so much more fun than just like trying to do it by yourself. I tried teaching myself knitting from a book like 3 years ago, and I got my first row done, and I think I actually got partway through the second row, but when I finished the second row, I'm like, well, what do I do now? I couldn't figure out how to like It's not like crochet where it's like, oh, okay, let me make another thing and let me go back on myself and make the next row. That's not how knitting works. And so I'm still sitting there in like crochet mindset, and I was like, I have no idea how to do this next knit row, and it just sort of died out. But 2017 will be the year I knit. Yeah, and I've heard from different people that like, oh, knitting is so much easier than crochet. And I was like, I don't get that. Like knitting seems like a higher art form than crocheting to me. Oh yeah, YouTube is great. I should have gone to YouTube when I did that thing. I mean, the book I got also came with a DVD. Um, I don't know why I never put the DVD in. I should have. I should try it again. I need to give that book. It's the book is literally called Knitting 101. Yeah, with something like, these kind of crafting things, even stitches I don't know in crochet, I was like, oh, a bobble stitch versus a popcorn stitch? I guess I'll go look it up on YouTube. How do people do it? Okay, so I have reached the end of my my row here. Now they said this was to prevent, like working in the back loops was to prevent curling. I feel like it actually caused curling. Um, and she used a bulkier yarn, or a thick unplied, and I don't know if this is Scandinavian terms or something. It says 285 tex times 4 TEX. So I'm not quite sure what that means. But I'm pretty sure what it means is that it is thicker yarn than what I'm using. So for my own peace of mind, I'm going to add 2 rows of single crochet instead of this back loop slip stitch and see how that goes. And if it sucks, I'll just tear it out. But yeah, I do want this cuff to be significantly flatter than what it is currently appearing to be. I was wondering if I was only supposed to do like the first crochet row in the back loops. Like I said, it was translated from another pattern, so I'm wondering if it's not all correct. Like, correct in English. Oh, and so tight. She also says to keep the stitches loose, which I can't really do with that slip stitch. Crochet is like lots of looping your stuff inside loops that already exist, and your chain row is the first one, like it's where you start all your looping. Uh, when I did the knitting, I was kind of looking at it like I'm not working with the loops, I'm working with each side of the loop, because you stick the needle on the other side and then you wrap it around, but crochet is all loops. Um, which is also why crochet takes like a third, um, like if you take a knit project and you take a crochet project, the crochet project takes like a third more yarn, just because it's always doubled up. My mom gave me my grandma's old set of crochet hooks. Oh, that's awesome. Actually, I should ask my grandparents or my grandpa what happened to my grandma's knitting stuff. I have a feeling they may have gotten rid of it before they even moved to their assisted living place. She passed away last year. Um, but then I started learning how to spin my own yarn. Maybe I'll do a spinning stream someday. I need to. like make space out here to do it, but I could totally do a spinning stream. Actually, I need to do a wool prep stream where I actually brush the wool up, but that is a little boring. A Welsh wizard, thank you for that, host. Hmm. Yeah, like now that you look back, now that I look back, I'm like, man, I really should have had grandma teach me to knit, but I don't. I mean, I wasn't in the headspace for that. Like knitting was still, like I said, a higher art form than crocheting in my head. Um, so I I didn't really feel comfortable asking to learn how to do it. I love spinning. Like it's gotten me to meet some really cool people. The last job I had, like I found through people who worked there, like went to the spinning class, same spinning class I did. Um, it was yeah, I just find it really relaxing. And the colors, like I've started dyeing the wool too. Like I bought raw wool from people, and so I started dyeing it on my own. And it's yeah, I bought a little bit of the roving that I'll be using this week, and so there's like different techniques we're doing, and it's awesome. Spinning is pretty freaking awesome. Um, but the wool prep takes so long though. I don't know if I want to keep doing that, but it's cheaper than buying it. So as I am not working currently, it's probably the best option for me. I got 5 pounds of wool. Um, I need to wash it. I've prepared and spun up about 1 pound of it, um, but um, I have 4 pounds left to go, and the washing it takes so long. It's been raining here, so it's hard to have it dry out, and it takes days. So I haven't even bothered washing it, but I should because I'm running short on my actual spinning materials. The other thing is I'm doing a sort of like a color theory test thing. Um, I was doing a pink and blue color test, and I was dyeing it together to make purple, and then I spun it together to make a purple, or not spun it, and then I carded a different section of it to be purple, and then the last bit is to spin the blue and then spin the pink and then ply them together. It won't look like purple. It will definitely look like blue and pink candy cane, but just kind of the different things you can do, just how you spin it and prepare it, what different kind of colors you can come up with. So that's my personal little project there. I feel like I need to start it all over again because I had given some of the roving I had made to a friend, but that then messed up my numbers as far as like how much I ended up spinning. And I do want to enter it into the county fair, but it's not big enough. Like you need a minimum length, and now I don't have that. So I'm a little disappointed in myself for kind of jumping the gun and giving it away. I do have pictures. On the Facebook page that I have in my social media section, the Hypers Hooked Creations, that I have pictures of the in progress purple stuff and some of the other projects I worked on. So like if you want to see the purple, it's the pictures are there. I do need to add more pictures. I'm a little behind. I haven't posted pictures in like a week. Um, Trying to do the life stuff. This the yarn smells funny. I don't know if it's the yarn or the fact that I'm like stretching it too much. Hmm. I might be working it too hard. I should probably loosen up my stitches significantly. Because if you're noticing, I'm like trying to shove it in there. Um, next time around. It'll be looser since I'm shoving it in there, and the single crochet is going to be much looser than that slip stitch stuff I was doing. Slip stitches, slip stitch. I was just wondering, I was like, well, maybe I was supposed to be doing single crochet because the difference between European terminology and US terminology. I was like, wait, no, they're like one extra. So when they say slip stitch, they mean, oh, they might mean single crochet. The slanting comes by itself to make sure the slip stitch crochet. I actually might have to look that up because this might be single crochet mittens, not slip stitch mittens. I have a handbook right here. The Happy Hooker. Difference in terminology. Because I might just be making this much more difficult on myself. So, no. That would be under European. No. Crochet Yarn Council of America. What is that? Watch me get super distracted. See page 24. There's some weird noises going outside. Oh right, Ravelry. Fantastic. Alright, so I might have to step away. There's some crazy noises going on outside. And I'm gonna go check out what it is. I will be back. So after telling my roommate what I heard and going outside, and we didn't really see anything, but he said that there are some cats that are actually very good at chasing birds, and what I was hearing sounded like a bird screaming. So maybe that's what was going on. All right. Search party. Yeah, I'm still hearing it, which is weird because we were just outside. Unless it's not outside and it's actually like we have a roof that's like here's our roommate's bedroom, and then there's the roof, and then there's this crawl space. We actually think that there's stuff inside the crawl space, and if we can't hear it outside and I'm the only one who can hear it, it would probably explain that. Oh dear. I'll have to let them know. What am I gonna do? I can't really crawl up there right now. So, mitten. Yes, mitten. Oh, I was looking up slip stitch in European terms. That's what we were doing. Slip stitch in European terms. So we're actually going to go with Google's since the book doesn't seem to address European terms. Okay, slip stitch. As I go to use this as the mouse. Woohoo! That's the mouse. Alright. Slip stitch. UK? Let's see what they say. Oh. I think it actually is single crochet. The slip stitch. No? Maybe? Well, let's watch the YouTube video.
So this lesson is about the slip stitch, and it's going to accomplish two things. It's going to teach you how to do the slip stitch, and it's going to teach you how to add a color or how to attach a yarn
speed this up too.
To create the edging or to put a new color on different way. So a slip stitch is simply it's used mostly to connect yarn or to get to where you want to go. And how you do a slip stitch is you insert the hook into your stitch, pull through a loop, and then pull through the loop that was already on the hook.
No,
and that is your slip stitch.
That's not my question really, because it's like UK versus US. Twitch has been twitchy? No! Twitch has been very twitchy, it sounds like. But yeah, I still am looking at UK versus US slip stitch. UK versus US slip stitch. Because there is a difference. Yarn forward. Okay. Crafty. We will go to Craftsy. They slip stitch. Oh, okay. Well, skip missed gauge. Single crochet, half double, half treble, treble crochet. Okay. Doesn't even mention slip in the pattern or in their chart. No. Twitchy twitch. Oh dear. Alright, well, I guess I'll try this with. Gosh, I don't know. Well, I think I'll switch from the slip stitch to the single crochet and see how that goes, because the single crochet seems to be working better, curling less, and I'm wondering if that's exactly what they meant. Because yeah, those slip stitches that I did earlier are pretty tight. Which, like I said, it'd be great, for a finished pair of mittens. I just need to be able to actually finish the mittens in order to be able to wear them. So yeah, apparently I crochet way too tight. Uh, I don't think I've ever been guilty of crocheting too loose. How do you maintain like tension in knitting? Like, can you knit too loose and knit too tight, just like you can crochet too loose and crochet too tight? I'm guessing you can. After a while, it'd be difficult to move the needles. Oh, this was actually in a ball. Look at that. Center pull. Alright. Got the cups of the mittens. Alright, so I've got about another hour and 15 minutes before I have to head out. Um, Hopefully I can make some, like, real progress on these. I mean, getting them started is one of the hardest parts. Starting and finishing is probably the hardest part of a project. There is definitely something in our ceiling that is screeching. I told my roommate it sounded like a bird getting attacked. Um, if, I don't know, we might have a family of raccoons up there. But, like, I can hear it through my headphones. They're screaming. Just a second. My roommate actually came out. I'm gonna go talk to him. Can you hear that? Wait, stop. Streaming. Alright. They did it like a minute ago. I think there's actually something in the ceiling. Like a family of raccoons with like little skittering, chittering. So if you want to sit out here for a few minutes and maybe hear that. Wait, listen. Uh, you can hear what I hear and maybe I'm not crazy.
It's a little bit big enough that they have enough capacity to hear the kitchen.
Probably.
Because usually there's they
But here's the like.
pretty good size.
How do they even get into the garage part of it? Like.
Maybe there's something else.
Okay. Let's see.
I'll bet you climbing in the new house, you find
Pathway
more
to
than
get
a
up
few
to the
access points
ceiling.
to get up into the walls,
All right.
which is funny.
The big book. I got a package. I've been entering book giveaways on Goodreads. So they actually, if you want to start doing that, it's goodreads.com/giveaways. It's a very simple URL. Let's see which one I got in the mail now. And I've won a lot. I've been doing it for about a month and entering every single one of them. I pretty much haven't cared what they are. Just felt like it. This is Fish Girl. Books for Young Readers Advanced Hard Copy. It's kind of like a comic, actually. That's kind of cool. It's like a comic for kids by David Weisner and Donna Jo Napoli. And this is an advanced reading copy of Fish Girls. Girl, singular. But that's one of the ones I got on Goodreads. But yeah, some of the advanced reading copies. Actually, I have another one here. This one, it's called What You Don't Know. So I started reading this one because it actually comes out in this month. It says right here February, so it's advanced reading copy. I figured I should probably get reading those and put up my review before the book actually comes out. That's why they give you an ARC. Alright, so freaking noises. Like I don't know if you guys can hear that through stream. I'm guessing not, since you're having trouble hearing me if I don't put my microphone down. Um maybe it's raccoons or something else entered up there. We had an issue a few weeks ago where